Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the next episode of the wonderful Summer Lake. And today with Nepal, we are going to build a Shangri-La inspired little Nepalesian, I guess it's the wording, area here in Summer Lake. And we are here to make a Disney inspired park. So, that said, we are not really limiting ourselves by any budget. We are just assuming that there is endless budget available. And that said, I finally could realize something I wanted to do for such a long time. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit quickly what is going on here. So, this Nepal-inspired habitat area will feature two different animals. It will feature the Himalayan brown bear, and it will also feature the red panda. Both animals are local to Nepal, and so I decided to take those two on. And the idea about this experience, it's all about a really great experience. Now, we are in a more or less like flat zoo in somewhere in Europe, in a very temperate area, and we need to make sure that this is working with a lot of different techniques in order to make it appear different than it actually is. And I'm going to talk about this a bit more in today's episode, and especially in the real-time part. I won't be here for the whole commentary. That's just way too long, and I spent again way too long building that. I almost wanted to say sorry, but I think you guys will hopefully appreciate it. I'm going that far to say that overall, I think that's my best build in Planet Zoo so far, because of many things. But you can already see I'm spamming a lot of mist effects down here, and that's one of the greatest tricks that Disney parks use, or in general theme parks use. This way you kind of create some it's almost like a fake height effect, I wanted to make sure that you feel like entering this area, you feel like being in the Himalayan mountains, quite high up in like the 7,000 meters up high in the Himalayan mountains. And the idea about this is to really make sure that you guys enter a different world, somewhat like we did at the beginning with Japan, but this time I wanted to make sure it's a bit more of an experience, that you don't really go up or down, but all of a sudden you are feeling like you're super high up in the air. And with this like fog effect, and what I did is I made kind of the lower part is colored in basically the same tint as what the mist creates, and then the mist above it kind of creates this depth feeling. You look down, you cannot really tell if it's the ground or if it's just super deep, in reality though, you would even put something like a huge image down there, or even like a projection, and then it looks like as if it's going deep into the ground. In this case I can't do it because we don't have any billboards, so it would be very cool to do it with billboards, to be honest, because then you can actually take a photo of Google Maps or whatnot, and then just kind of make like a fake mountain height kind of texture. That would be super huge, but it just didn't work out the way. But yeah, you can see I'm working a whole bunch also here with the rock work, and there's a little trick I'm using. Now this little platform in the center is also slightly lower than the sides here. It almost appears the same height, but it's not. And the idea is to use forced perspective to make the mountains in the back also appear higher than they are, and to make this little village in the middle here appear lower than it is, so that you kind of get a bit of a feeling of being really within the mountains, rather than just being somewhere in a theme park or in a zoo, you know what I mean? And I think it's just a very cool thing to have in here, and it really showcases in a very nice way what you can do with different forced perspective effects. And I took a whole bunch of inspiration from Disney Seas. They do the same with the volcano over there. They use a lot of mist effects and also forced perspective to make this volcano appear bigger than it actually is. And they use also the mist effects above the sea water and different water levels to make sure that this also appears a bit different from perspective than it actually is. So there's quite a lot of stuff going on there. And I'm just a huge fan of these kind of things, and I'm just trying to incorporate all of those in here. And fortunately though, I gotta say it works surprisingly well in this zoo, and I'm really stoked to show this because I think this really showcases what you can achieve in this game when you just utilize some of the creative techniques that very clever people have already developed over years, and they still hold true because they're just absolutely genius, and that's also why I was struggling a little bit with this building over here. This is going to be somewhat like a typical Nepalese temple build. Like, one thing I definitely didn't want to do, I know that there are some Nepalese builds and habitats already on the workshop, and they mostly use this very obvious temple build from Nepal. I think it's basically the first thing that comes to your Google page whenever you type in Nepal temple, Nepal mountains, whatever. You have this temple, I forgot the name of, but it's very common, it's very obvious, and I just didn't want to do this. I wanted to make something else. I wanted to make something that is appearing like even like a lost little village, very high up in the mountains. So one of the last villages before you really go up to the peak of the mountain. I wanted to incorporate a whole bunch of different textures and stuff, and it appeared that the Arctic pack really worked wonders. The reason why I'm using most of these pieces is also grounded in the fact that this is going to be, and I'm so proud to say that it worked like a charm. This whole little floating island in the middle is going to be actually the red panda habitat, and believe me or not, it works exactly the way I wanted it. It just, they move freely around there, they can climb above your heads and stuff, but yeah, they can just not escape, because I managed to build it in a way with different materials that are not climbable. That was actually a challenge to make sure that this works, but it's very cool. I used a lot of these Arctic pieces that are not climbable, and I think it was Haribo, I guess, who mentioned that to me, that those pieces mostly are not climbable, and it turned out to be true. So I used most of them to make sure that these animals will not be able to escape and just bug through all of it. But yeah, it was a whole bunch of struggle, and I cut out again like half of my building stuff I cut out, even though I left some struggle in because people asked for it lately, and so that way, and I think this is also the reason why I'm still keeping that. Okay, anyways, we are now a few minutes into this episode, and I basically explained most of what is going on, and you can definitely tell already which direction we are going to take. By the way, I searched for some Himalayan and Nepalese music. I hope you guys appreciate that. Like, in general, I'm trying to make this series as enjoyable as possible. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you find this as enjoyable as I'm hoping it is to you. Like, do you like the fact that we have fitting music, or do you not really care about this? So are you saying like, well, you could have just used Planet Zoo music, fine, I don't know. Just let me know in the comments down below, because this is something, some very valuable feedback. Also, in case you haven't noticed that yet, but I also took your feedback about the thumbnails seriously, and I changed some of my icons on the thumbnails, so in order to make sure it's a bit more obvious what video is going to be what, there is now a video about an icon about Summer Lake. There is an icon for my franchise mode, which has just restarted. So in order, if you guys haven't seen my old franchise series, it's ended, and now we have got a new one, which is basically a city zoo on hard mode, which is a whole bunch of fun. I didn't really believe it is, but it's super fun to do. It's a lot of fun, and I gotta say, it really fills my day the best way possible, doing this when I don't have that much time to build like a super crazy build like that one. I just jump in and play like an hour of franchise. That is super cool, and now having this new zoo helps me really doing that. And yeah, I just wanted to know if you guys like the thumbnails, if you have noticed that, and in case you have anything else in order to improve this, please let me know. And do you think they are just very obvious to catch that this is my video? Then just let me know. On that note, I just wanted to briefly talk about one topic, and I think, for those people who are just into this video to this point, or who skipped just here, just stick with me for a second. I just, again, caught you skipping, okay? I just needed to talk about a little bit about the membership. So lately, I've talked about that quite a few times at the end of the videos, but I just wanted to take, some more minutes now to talk about that. So membership on YouTube is a brilliant thing for us creators, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter if you do it for a hobby or for a living. The membership is very great because it doesn't matter how much you're gonna do. If you take a small amount or big amount, the pledges I keep them fairly similar because I don't want to kind of create a tier system too much of it. I just don't like that. But the positive thing about this is with the income from membership fees, it helps us creators to plan a little bit easier ahead because the income and the money is a bit more stable, And, surely I'm not doing this for a living. That's my hobby. But I would need to improve my rig, for example, very soon because my RAM is totally shitty, to be honest. Like it's quality-wise it's shitty, and the amount of RAM I have is shitty too. And so my whole system is very capable, but the RAM is actually becoming more and more the bottleneck in this scenario. And since I want to deliver high-quality content to you guys, and especially, for example, I'm the only one who potentially could do some very nice walkthrough through Kuala Zoo still, the RAM is really partly the problem why I cannot do this too much. And yeah, I really want to upgrade that soon, but that said, with all the stuff going on, money is tight. If it's not for the channel, I cannot. I always told you guys, I don't know who of you knows it or not, but I always have the agreement with my wife that whatever I do with YouTube has to be paid by YouTube. So it's whatever we earn is not going to be used for YouTube. That's a simple rule, simply to kind of disconnect things a little bit. It's also easier for the taxes, to be honest, but just that's a simple rule, and I'm gonna stick to it because there's just this little bit of a variable in there that you kind of start to go into a deep dark hole, as soon as you start to invest more than you earn out of this, because that's not my main job. Okay, that's not what pays our bills, and therefore I'm just encouraging you, if you want to help me out and you want to become a member, just only do it, please, if you can afford that. Okay, so this is, for me personally, very important. I do also pledge some people, to be honest. Like, I'm also not member, but I do sub to some people on Twitch because I just like their content, and I want to help and support them, and it's totally fine. But I can afford that. Okay, I'm fine with it. So in case you can, I'm more than happy to welcome you. You get some cool emotes, you can use some cool smileys, you get this wonderful little emote in front of your name when you're commenting, which, by the way, I'm going to redo a little bit to make them even more cool. So this kind of stuff, I just wanted to get that off my chest, so you don't get a wrong feeling about this, or just a wrong image of what I'm trying to say here. So it is always a great help for the channel. The more people become a member, the more stuff I can do in that direction. I can also think about maybe member-only streams at some point, just as a little, but very seldom, to be honest, because again, I want to keep it fairly equal to all of you, because I'm really not that kind of person who believes that exclusive content in the long run is a good thing on a platform like YouTube. It might change if I would do this full time at any point in time, but since I'm not doing that right now, I don't want to create a tier system, amongst my community. That's just not a goal I have, not at all. And so I hope you guys really understand what I'm trying to aim at. I just want to get this off my chest, as I said, and in case you have some questions to it, don't hesitate to reach out to me in my Discord channel. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. But now let's talk a little bit about more this village before I leave you alone with the music. We are nearly halfway through the time lapse, and you can see that I took a lot of time and effort building these two houses over here, are like temple builds. So the left-hand house, the first one I built, is more like a classical one, but more modern one, something that you would technically see there quite often. And this is more like inspired by some of these ruins you see quite high up in the Himalayan and Nepalesian area. And to be honest, there is one wall in a Planet Coaster, which would be so fitting. It's kind of a sandstone-ish wall with some very broken stones slapped together. That looks awesome. We really don't have that in the game, and so I just took so long until I found something that I felt looks good enough, because these are kind of like Buddhist temples, and they have kind of a meaning to it. There are also some kind of hieroglyphs on it, and I wanted to kind of make something in that way. But there were just so many things I wasn't too happy with. But at the end of the day, this turned out to be looking somewhat exactly the way I wanted it to be looking. I'm going to show you in the real-time part, though. But yeah. Now, again, I really hope you guys enjoy this so far. I will keep the rest of information to the real-time part, and in case you want to see that one, there is a timestamp as always available for you. You can just skip it in case you want. But for now, that's me done with the commentary for the time lapse. It's just way too long to talk you through. I would repeat myself now, and we don't want that, okay? So, yeah, enjoy the rest. Enjoy the music. I'm gonna tune that up a little bit for you now. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it so far. And make sure to stick with me. And we are going to see each other in like 10 minutes in the real-time part. Until then, enjoy. All right, everyone, here we are in the file now. You can see we are still looking at Egypt, and now we turn the camera around. And there you go. This is the entrance to Nepal. And to be honest, this is not entirely finished. I just hadn't had the time to do this, but I will definitely finish this off screen. And then before we start the next area, which might be delayed 1 week, I don't know. There's quite a lot of things going on, but I'm gonna inform you. So this is the entrance gate to Nepal. And you can see this really drags you into an entire new world. And yeah, as we just go in, you can definitely tell this is really special and really drags you in here. I could actually make the mist go even higher, to be honest. Maybe I'm even raising that a bit more, to be honest, because if you look closely enough, you cannot really tell there's a ground, to be honest. So this is really cool. But yeah, you go in and you can definitely tell this is then the little village here high up in the mountain, and you're immediately feeling like being high up in the mountains. It's really exactly what I wanted to achieve here. And you can really see this is where also why can I not walk, by the way? I'm just stuck here. Okay, whatever. You can also see the Himalayan brown bear in the end, in the back there. And it almost seemed like it walks past you. But there you go. Look at that. There's one of the red pandas just passing by. And this is what I just said. It appears as if they're like moving freely on this island, but they're not. And this is so cool. I managed to squeeze in so many different things in order to make them just be in their area where they belong. And yeah, I'm a little bit sad though that I needed to use these wooden things as flags. I would have loved to use something more thin, but there is nothing really in the game I can use, or at least I haven't found it. Yeah, the red pandas also, they do have a sleeping opportunity up here, which they use, which I'm kind of happy with. And there's another one just hidden in here. I'm going to show you in a second. So yeah, this is kind of the area where you just come in, and then there's not much going on other than, you know, you can see the animals. I potentially put some benches and stuff in here, but that's basically about it, you know. And then you just have this wonderful area where you can have a look, and then there is this little area to really have a nice view on to the other side where the Himalayan brown bear is living. At this point in time, this is a one-side glass to make sure that the red pandas can pass by. They have their tree forager here, where you can see them using this. They have their privacy area in the back here, which for whatever reason it is boxed. I have to unbox this quickly. There you go. The animal is unboxed. I don't know why exactly it was boxed, but I can really tell how much of a clutter stuff this is, really making this look like this more or less like broken down ruin. Let's have a look where the panda is going to go now. It's it's taking that weird walk through here. Oh, it's using these little things. I didn't even know that this is possible. I think it's going to use the rope, yeah, to go over. That is exactly possible. Really cool. We just got a baby. I don't know which exactly we got, but I mean, look at that. They can just use this now, and then they just casually move over the roof, which, never mind then. Oh god, I don't know what that was, but they actually use it pretty nicely indeed. Sometimes you still have that. Yeah, and then you just go over here. Oh, there's the other one just coming down, and yeah, get all these beautiful angles from here and there, having this wonderful look into this area. And then there is this bridge leading you out, because I didn't want to make this like a dead end, because you need the people to just, you know, be here, I guess, and then go through rather than standing there and going back, because that would create some traffic jams you don't want to have. But you know, moving out backwards now. There are some ropes. I could put some more flags in. You know, some little things still have to be done, but I think it's more than worth showing right now. I guess at the beginning of next episode I will show you the final result. I'm not going to make like a dedicated video for it. This is like Nepal done, and I guess that's just the way it is. Now let's quickly just move out of Tedget Cam, and I'm going to show you this from above because it's super exciting. So there we go. This is the Nepal area from above, and you can really tell how nicely this island floats in the middle. You have the brown bears, or the Himalayan brown bears, moving around. They can actually go quite a lot. I do have to employ some more keepers in the back so that they can poof the poop a lot more, because they are pooping like crazy. But the cool bit is they can actually move everywhere. They can go here. They have a little bit of a area there. They don't really have shelter. I have to give them like a little bit of a cave somewhere, but it's really cool. They can use it all. And yeah, the one thing I'm mostly happy with is the area for the red pandas. They can just move everywhere in here. We do have, as I said, this is the little sleeping area 1, and then they have another sleeping area 2 down here. I use these leaves because from below you cannot see them. That's kind of clever. So you know, you don't notice from below. It's kind of cool, and then they still have like a reason to go there. And yeah, I just all the way. I think, oh no, it's moving further. That's exactly what I don't know where exactly it's going, but we can potentially follow it quickly. There's someone escaped. I don't know who has escaped. You know, I don't even want to look into that because sometimes there is some stuff happening which is not meant to be happening. Yeah, there you go. It's already resolved. So it sometimes can also be that they cross over here and this is basically escaping. I think that's what it was, because the habitat is not like fully done. And I think, you know, this way I can definitely deal with it because it's always back in the habitat and I'm fine. Look at this little Fluffy running over here. Is it going to get some food? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing, by the way? Excuse me? Excuse me, what are you doing? You're sitting quite dangerously here. Oh, but look at that. This looks somewhat cool. Oh, with the sun. Oh, look at that. Hello, Fluffy. Hello, little Fluffy. Can you... Oh, it's gonna sleep here. Oh, why would you even sleep here? Anyways, you know, this is already it. I'm gonna leave the camera just right here now, guys, and I'm going to change the weather condition to snow just because it's looking phenomenal in snow. And while I do so, I'm gonna just do the ending, okay? So while this red panda is jumping weirdly on the left hand side, I love when the color changes over here. Look, I mean, look at that. It's insane. I love that so much. Anyways, guys, I really hope you appreciated this Nepal episode today. I did enjoy building this a lot, but it took me longer than expected, so this is also why there's a bit less content coming on this weekend, just because there was so much work that went into this build. But now, in case you're new here, you've seen this video for the first time or whatever, and you consider subscribing, please do so. That helps me a lot. And also for those of you who keep on watching this channel and are not subscribed, because I see that there are still so many people watching constantly, coming back to the videos. They seem to enjoy it, and for some reason they do not subscribe. So in case you are one of those, please consider subscribing. You don't even have to enable the bell. I know it's totally annoying. I hate that myself. So in order to avoid having too much annoying stuff going on, just subscribe and, you know, leave that bell turned off and you should be fine. I would super much appreciate if you guys would join because, you know, just loving to grow that all here. And yeah, I really do hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and make the best of your day. We see each other in the next one. Until then, have a great time and goodbye.